Good day. I'm continuing today with LO1, video number 5. We're going to look at centralization or centralized procurement operation or strategy versus a decentralized procurement strategy. By the end of this exercise or this short video, you'll have an understanding of the pros and cons or the advantages and disadvantages of each, and also recognizing an important thing, that no one strategy or procurement structure can fit all enterprises. It depends on many factors. So we'll get to that. So centralized procurement versus decentralized procurement. This has been an argument for quite some time. Now, from my experience, I've worked mostly in a centralized environment, and I've seen best of both worlds. So in a centralized procurement, one noted advantage is this. It is very easy to roll out policy and to manage policy and monitor policy, right? And when I say policy, I'm talking about best practice or policies that relate to the way you buy, what you should do, your tendering process or processes, also your ethical guidelines. So once it's centralized, that is easy to manage. So ethics and tendering procedures, making sure that your process is above board, it's easier to manage in decentralized function. Another noted benefit is economies of scale, buying in bulk. So for example, in a decentralized operation, one procurement department in a particular region or location is buying consumables, and then you have another entity buying the same consumables, sometimes in different quantities, but they have different prices. They may get it at different prices, and their supply, their range of suppliers might be far and wide. So when you look at your suppliers in that organization, it may not be manageable. You might be looking at 10,000 suppliers. Who can manage 10,000 suppliers? That's difficult. So economies of scale would be able to pool all those purchases and get a better price from the supplier at the end of the day, right? Larger quantities, cheaper price, right? That is a basic rule in economics. And there are other benefits whereby you can better rationalize your suppliers. So rather than managing 10,000 suppliers, you can manage a smaller number of suppliers. But on the decentralized side, I've learned to understand the frustration of project managers. Project managers often argue that they do not have the authority to procure certain goods and services, right? And sometimes that is related to location. So if I am in Sharjah, for example, and my project manager is in Abu Dhabi, and he or she requires materials, it can be challenging. It will be challenging if you're operating in a centralized environment. So decentralization brings a level of flexibility, and it deals with the bureaucracy of a centralized function. This is real life. We all have real life examples of that, right? But in terms of governance, there might be a challenge. So you may lose control and be unable to monitor or enforce good governance in procurement. Remember, without good governance in procurement, we will have a lot of major issues, right? Corrupt practices, etc. So we got that out of the way. Sorry. So let's go to something else. We need to recognize that one shoe does not fit all. So in terms of deciding what procurement structure or strategy you should apply, maybe I should use the word structure, I would say it depends on your company's objective, it depends on location, it depends on geography, it will depend on culture. For example, if the culture of your organization is very hierarchical, then they would prefer a centralized structure, because centralized structures enforce authority, right? So it all depends. It depends on how large your organization might be. So some organizations are in different regions, different countries. It will not be practical to have a centralized operation, of course. So See, we have to take all these things into consideration. All right? Thank you very, very much.